I really fucking love snacks.
Hello and welcome to Snack Time. I'm your host, Lindsay Adams, and thank you for listening and doing all the stuff. You're so appreciated, and wow, love it. We're killing it. Everybody, obviously, I just phoned that in, but I do mean it. So I am excited, though, for our guest today. Super funny, super talented. Also picked a fucking killer childhood snack. So welcome to the pod, Langston Kerman.
Yeah, wow, I
Yeah,
love
you're
it.
here. Yeah, Langston, thanks for being on the podcast
Fuck yeah.
and talking about fucking snacks.
I wasn't sure we could curse, but I went in hot and here we are, you know?
Did the pink throw you? For some reason, it makes it seem like a children's podcast.
Yeah, it has a, we're talking about kids' experiences and things that we
Ew.
enjoyed as children. It felt like maybe you don't cuss, but fuck that.
That's
We're cussing.
yeah. No, absolutely. It would literally kill me if there are children listening. If they're listening, they're very demented and sick, and it'll ruin them.
Well,
But
you just lost half your fan base of demented children that love your podcast.
imagine, I try to look at the analytics of who looks at it, and I don't understand. So it doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
There's a
I know my
reason
mom
that,
listens.
like, Nate Silver at a point was, like, an important man in this country. Just being able to read all those, like, analytics and statistics it's a real
Yes.
thing, and then those people, show that they have a personality outside of that, and we're like, "No, no, 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 no. We
Yeah,
don't like
absolutely not.
anything you're saying."
Do you curse on your podcast?
Oh, all the time,
Oh,
constantly.
that's what I thought. I was like, "Wait, do you bleep it out?" That's
No, I guess it's a very antiquated, idea to even presume that you couldn't cuss on stuff anymore, like, it's who's not cussing, you know?
I know. Well, I don't know. There are clean comedy shows, and they request it, and I say no every time.
Yeah, kill
Um,
those people.
exactly, murder them. That's the response when they're like, "It's a benefit for kids with cancer," and I'm like, "Absolutely fucking not. Kill them."
No. There's that, I'm sure you've seen it. There's like that comedy sort of like branded thing called Dry Bar that I think
Yeah,
their entire premise is like, we're gonna get comedians being edgy but not cussing. And it's like, all
yeah.
right, so just mediocre jokes for an hour. Tight. I love it.
Yeah, exactly, but they're still, like they're definitely every now and then, my mom is like, "It makes you seem uneducated." And
Mhm.
I'm like, "Okay, I mean, great."
Yeah, I
Most of it
chose a profession that doesn't require an education.
yeah,
I'm not here to prove that my degrees are still useful. I'm here to talk about pussy, dog. That's
yeah, half of America's not educated. Why would I target the people that care if I sound educated?
no, and also smart people turn on you so much faster than
They
dumb ones
do.
do. You
They
know?
do.
I feel
They're
like
the
smart
ones
people are gonna be the ones that as soon as you say something incorrect are gonna write think pieces and sort of
Yep.
like talk about how they always knew that you were problematic. And dumb people are like, I don't know, dog. Keep doing you. I
Yeah,
like
they're
I
like,
like what
"It's
you got.
funny. That's funny. I like
Yeah.
funny." Yeah, they literally don't care as much. I'm, like, terrified of smart people listening to my comedy. Because I will be canceled immediately, and I say dumb stuff constantly.
Sure.
So, I will always say dumb things, and I will never, claim to know anything. So, just putting it
Yeah,
that
my podcast is about conspiracy theory, and I occasionally invite a smart person on
yeah.
to sort of like get their takes on some of these things, and it's always a a weird tiptoeing and uncomfortable conversation that I don't enjoy. And then, I invite my dumbass comedian friends on and I have a blast. And we just say
I
problematic
know.
stuff and we accuse the presidents of murdering children and it's a
Yeah.
great time.
QAnon, right? Everyone's a pedophile, right?
Yeah,
Why
let's get
not?
messy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, everyone may be a pedophile. Who knows? What is
Oh yeah.
pedophilia? Never mind. What's the definition? Where's the island?
Sure.
Um, there is a lot to unpack there. And I think that now we've definitely moved in the territory of this absolutely not being a children's podcast.
Oh, if it was, you're done. You're done in the children's market for sure.
But we're the same age. I recently so we're in the same nostalgia bracket of what
Mhm.
this sits in, of like 90s snacks, everything artificial, you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
the weirder and grosser the better. I've brought up like purple ketchup, green ketchup. Do you remember
Hell yeah, I
that?
remember that shit.
Yeah, that shit where they were like, "Oh, you're putting ketchup on everything? Why don't you paint the walls with it?" And
Yeah.
we were like, "Fuck, yeah, we will." And all the parents were like, "We're gonna kill ourselves."
Yeah, it's
Like,
like, "Oh,
how
you
do
like
you
ketchup? Well, what if it looked like garbage paste? Would you still eat it?" And we're like, "Yeah, I think I would."
Well, it's like we were like, the when I think it was like they found out that the slime on Nickelodeon was pudding. I think there was
Mhm.
like something that came out about that. And then for me, all I thought about was eating slime and like wanting
Oh,
to go on Nickelodeon.
that made you more attracted to the slime.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh shit, it's fucking edible? That's
Oh, you and
insane."
I had very different reactions to that news.
Really? How did you react?
I did not like the idea of being covered in pudding. That
Oh,
bugged the
okay.
fuck out of me. I
Really?
I don't think the fact that it was edible changed the just ugh. If imagine just being soaked in tapioca pudding. That doesn't sound great.
I mean, it's not amazing, but I don't hate it. Like, most of Double Dare, didn't they have an ice cream sundae slide where you had to dive into a giant thing of whipped cream?
Yes,
And
and what I'd say is that if I know that I'm going into a giant slide of whipped cream, that's a fun evening. That's a
yeah,
great time. But if I think I'm going into slime, un un un,
yeah,
sort of documented slime, and then find out it's pudding, I'm devastated.
sure, sure. I mean, I guess I understand that. To me, I was like, "Oh, this is Willy Wonka's chocolate factory."
Mm, where
Like,
everything is delicious and
everything I would have tried to eat, I did try to eat everything. I did have an episode where I think I talked about I feel like I have pica or pica. Have you heard of this?
oh.
I really think that am have, like, a slight case of it where I just, like, if something I'm like, "Is this edible? Let me try." And it's like, "Nope, that's plastic."
I do like the idea of you being on, Family Double Dare, and then, after hours of eating slime, you try to take a bite out of Mark Summers, just a big old bite out of the host of the show.
I'm like, are you edible?" I think it's, like, Liza Koshy. I think they brought it back, and I think that I could be wrong. I don't know anyone's names, so I'll get this wrong, but I
I
think she's
I
the
don't
host.
know if that's true, but that sounds more true than anything I've ever heard,
Yeah,
that girl who is both, very talented, and I couldn't tell you what she does,
yeah,
uh, would be the host of the new version of Double Dare.
yeah. She's a YouTuber and now has a bajillion other things. She's very rich. I don't know how YouTubers are able to do as many things as they are. I tried to be a YouTuber. I still am low key trying, but
Hell yeah.
I mean, like, look, I aspire to it. Have I made a video in a long time? No. Did I buy a camera off of a film student that desperately needed the money? Absolutely. So
Oh,
maybe
sure.
I was like, hey, this poor kid on Facebook Marketplace was just like, sure, I'll sell it to you for 200. And I was like, okay, I mean, this is a $500 camera, but yeah, absolutely. I'm happy
All
to do
right.
that. Yeah. I was
Yeah.
like, "Sick, bro."
Let's get you
I
some subscribers. You got to get your YouTube back up.
I know, I know. Well, it's the editing and it's like I wanna pay a young person to do, like, the stuff for me that's hard, and I feel like that's attainable. I just have to find someone that's, like, young and interested in making an old person cool.
That's a Craigslist ad if I've ever heard one.
Yeah, who wants to make an old person cool? I talk about snacks. It's serious. But let's get into your childhood snack. So you
Hell
chose
yeah.
Shock Tarts,
Yes.
which yes.
Should I just tell you
Yeah,
everything
tell
that
me tell me everything that led you to Shock Tarts. Give me the
I
fucking scoop.
I'm a sour guy,
Great.
like as far as snacks are concerned. I love sour punch straws. I love fucking Sour Patch Kids, and
Yeah,
Shock Tarts were the sourest of all the sours that you could get pretty much everywhere at a certain point. Now,
sure.
some may argue Warheads were more sour than Shock Tarts, but what
Yes.
I would argue is Warheads are not as readily available, and certainly weren't as easily accessible, at least where I'm from.
Really? Where are you from?
I'm from Chicago, so like Oak
Right.
Park, Illinois, so right outside of Chicago.
That's where you grew up. And they
Yeah,
didn't
exactly.
and you guys didn't have Warheads as readily available?
We had them, but it wasn't like you could go to every gas station and just walk away with a reasonable pack of Warheads. If you wanted Warheads, you had to buy like $10 worth of Warheads because they were in that big ass like
Yeah,
uh
the bucket.
Costco sized bag of Warheads. I couldn't afford it, nor could I justify that as a young person. But Shock Tarts, you can get those in a pack that seemed reasonable to eat, even though in retrospect, any Shock Tarts is not it's bad for you. These are not healthy snacks.
No, I mean, no. Well, did your parents let you have shit like that? Like, would your parents buy you candy as a snack?
Constantly. I had no one in my life to tell me otherwise, that the things that I
Yes.
was consuming potentially could have a negative effect on me or my body. In fact, every day I remember for like 2 summers while we were living in this area called Forest Park, I would walk to a gas station that was like right across the alley from where I lived, and I
Yeah,
would buy like a pack of Shock Tarts, Hershey's cookies and cream candy bar, and a Big Gulp. And the Big Gulp you could refill multiple times in a day because that was back
right.
when like you could just show back up with the same cup, and they were like, "Yeah, you bought that, you can refill it." And so I would refill my Big Gulp like twice in a day with like fucking Mountain Dew, and then eat
Yes.
Shock Tarts and cookies and cream. So I can't touch my toes as an adult, and I think that's the reason why.
You know what's funny is that you were grossed out by the idea of slime being edible, but you drank Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
Like, that to me, I mean, no judgment because used to I was big on Diet Mountain Dew
Ugh.
and energy drinks. Like,
Whoa.
my shit was like, I would stop at a gas station on my way to high school because my mom, when I was a kid, I wasn't allowed to have like anything like artificial or fuck. My mom was like big, healthy.
Oh.
So I was a fiend by the time I got to high school. So in high school in the morning, I would stop by a gas station. I would pick up a pack of cigarettes and 3 huge NOS energy drinks
Mm,
and a diet Mountain Dew or a diet Coke. And then I'm big on like for some reason I would get lifesavers, like
mm.
some weird shit like that. But also they had Sour Patch Kids in the vending machine at our school.
Whoa, okay, so you guys had a solid vending machine then.
We had a good vending machine. The Sour Patch Kids were the first to go. I don't really remember the other shit that was there, but I know that there was a point where parents rallied and were like, "This is fucked
You
up." And we
can't
were
keep
like,
serving this to our sweet babies.
no, they were like, "How dare you?" And in retrospect, I would be pissed if I had kids going to school that just like could get spare change and eat candy after I pay money for their food.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I would care if I'm being honest.
That's great.
I think I think what I would like to do with my children is figure out a better strategy to communicate healthy and unhealthy without having to regulate the shit. So it's just like
Yeah.
I just needed someone to explain it to me earlier so that I didn't create habits. But I don't think
Got
there's
it.
anything wrong with like your body's built to bounce
Yeah.
and handle things differently than adults are, but like you should build some habits so that when you turn 24 and your body starts to change, you're not like, ah, what's happening to me? You should be like, no, I did this. I know exactly what's happening to me. This is something I built on my own.
Yeah. I mean, that's like actually an incredibly healthy. I mean, you're a new dad.
Hmm.
So this is, now this is not just hypothetical.
No.
Um
And my
and
daughter is currently in the 98th percentile in weight and is like obsessed with food, like constantly eating. So she's gonna be a
I love it.
little fat fuck, and I gotta do everything I can to at least help her understand the choices that she's making.
Yeah, I mean, that's dope. I love that. I
Yeah.
my mom was, like, very like, anytime I would go towards something, she would be like, "That's garbage. That's disgusting. That's bad for you." And
Mhm.
so I was like, "Fuck you."
You're right.
And that was so now I, like, I'm gross, and I'm like, if it that's why I was like, "Oh, slime? That seems like something I could eat," and my mom wouldn't, like, clock it as being like, I'm
Yeah,
just,
and
like,
see, I
eating
don't want
slime.
that. I don't want this,
Yeah.
like, weird rebellious thing where you're like, "My dad said I can't have that, so now I'm going to gorge on it and, in the dark of the basement," kind of vibes. I want real, let's figure it out together. I want you to know that, yeah, that thing might be unhealthy, but goddamn does it taste good, and maybe we could just have a little bit of it every once in a while instead of 3 big gulps in an afternoon because no one
My
told you
god.
otherwise.
And your body did start to feel it in your 20s.
In my later 20, I've always been like a pretty skinny guy, but
Yeah.
like I think, I would argue that becoming skinny or becoming fat skinny, like that skinny fat shit is maybe one of the grossest looks that exists of just like. 'Cause fat, like chubby is that can be cute. That looks
Yeah.
like it's meant to be that way, but when you're, like, clearly not built the way that your body is meant to be built, you notice.
That's so yeah, I mean, I was a super chubby kid, and
Mm,
I was just, like, a constant I mean, I was, like, a fat kid for sure. I think it was, like, 150 pounds when I was, like, in 5th grade. And,
mm.
like so I was, like, the fat kid for sure, stuffing my face. So, I was always, like, super conscious going back and forth between, like, being, like, crazy healthy and then eating, like, the worst possible things in the world. But I was way always drawn to the worst shit. My mom was like the process of my mom trying to process me being like what you're talking about with the healthy habits, like, in retrospect, looking back at her being like, "Okay, my daughter is overweight. How do we have this discussion?" I remember her casually being like, "Are you do you think that you want another brownie?" And I'd be like, "Fuck you."
You're goddamn right, I want another brownie.
I'd be like, "Leave me alone. You don't know me." Um,
So you think in retrospect, you think that this was your mother's best attempt at helping you at least, try to eat better.
Yeah. I mean, my mom was like a neurotic Jew who was like kind of a hippie, and she wanted to do the best thing for me and my sister, and so we also were, like, taking vitamins. When
Mm,
we were, like, kids, we would have, like, a little cup of vitamins, which was, like,
mhm.
a living nightmare, and she was just like, "I wanna, like, set them up for success."
Sure.
And I was like, "Here's the truth. You fucking set me on a roller coaster of
Yeah.
really going hard." But
Well, that's the scariest thing about all of this stuff is like
yeah.
we're all gonna blame our parents eventually,
Mhm.
you know? And so it's like, yeah, you want to do right by these people and you try your best and then you say a bunch of ignorant things or things that they're not going to like or interpret the way that you intended and then suddenly they make a podcast about the foods that they were
I
shamed
know.
for as children.
I know, and my mom listens to the podcast and will text me and be like, "Do you think I'm horrible?" And I'm like, "You literally tried to do the right thing. I just happen to also be an addict and be
Mhm.
so deeply rebellious towards every single thing that you told me not to do." So, like, that's not on her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, she didn't fuck me up, to be clear, with food. I 100% dove in. There's plenty of kids that are raised healthy that are just like, "Okay, but I know how to regulate," and I was not one of them. So
And I 100% get that because even as an adult, I know what it would take to get me in we all have personal goals, things that we would love to see physically in ourselves.
Sure.
I know absolutely what it would take to get me to my goal. The
Yeah.
type of eating habits and strategies that I could employ to make sure that I look and feel exactly the way I want to feel. And every day I make a choice not to follow those habits because of my own personal bad decision making and wants for sweets and
But is
snacks
it
and
bad
shit.
decision making, or is it like this is the argument now in like psychology and like eating disorder shit and like intuitive eating is like, is it bad, or is it just a choice that makes you feel good that you're like actively making? Like, is it have to be like labeled bad is the question.
I don't think it has to be labeled bad, and I think that's probably a fair assessment that it's more complicated than good and bad. But I will say that if that small moment makes you feel uh euphoric for a second and then shame for 23 hours and 59 seconds, then it probably wasn't the best decision. Do you know what I
What are
mean?
your yes, what are your shame choices?
I'm just addicted to sugar. I think
Oh,
I
yes.
have an awful relationship with sugar and carbs. So whenever possible, I will snack and I'll snack on some shit that like truly I didn't need to have and don't feel better after I have it. And like I
Sure.
was talking to my wife about this the other day because she made like a cake in the house. And I was like, as long as you guys, her and her mother tend to make just like cakes and cookies and shit. And as long as y'all keep doing that, I'm going to eat all of it. Like
Yeah.
I don't have the ability to see that and walk away from it. So what I would prefer is we just didn't have it, but I don't want you to
Yeah.
feel like I'm not appreciative of the shit you're making. I love it and I love it too much to walk away from it.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. As someone who bakes all the time, but I have this, but has the same mentality around, like, I cannot have it sitting around,
Mhm.
um, I count on my husband to eat it all.
Yeah, that's horrible. And he's a very slight guy. I'm sure he can handle eating this stuff, but at
Yeah.
the end of the day, don't make his body suffer through the delicious goodness of whatever you've made.
Yeah, I mean, like, I will like, I've got, like if there's cookies around if I'm making something and he's like, "Oh, I'm not into that," I'm more prone to not make it
Mm,
because I know that he's not gonna eat it, and if he doesn't taste something, when I'm done, I'm just, like, furious. So, yeah, it isn't fair, but he's also skinny, so I'm kind of like, "Who cares? You run every day, like, get over it." But no, you're right, I get it. I get it from the husband's perspective, blah, blah, blah. It's hard
Yeah,
on you.
I guess
Your
what I
life is
came on this
difficult.
podcast to say is men are victims, and if we can just get to the root of that.
If women could stop baking and get out of the kitchen, literally, like, if anything, it's kind of a feminist take,
I'd say so.
it's a feminist take. You want women out of the kitchen.
I
They
want
don't
women
need
out
to
of that
bake.
goddamn kitchen, back in the
Get out.
workplace where they belong.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a sweets person too. I've had a lot of people on the podcast who are not. They are,
Mm.
like, strictly savory. That sweets are not interesting to them, which is insane to me because candy is such a gorgeous invention.
Yeah, no, it's the greatest poison I think ever put on this planet, you know?
Yeah.
I
It's
think some could
yes.
argue that alcohol, I guess, is more whatever, but, like, no, candy, the highs I've felt from, like, just getting real fucked up on a pile of candy is, I think, better than a lot of, if not all of my drunken nights.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Do you after shows I talked about this a little bit on Eddie Pepitone's episode, but after shows, if I have, like, a long set or something like that, or I'm out, like, on the road, I will get a piece of candy after
Mhm.
and, like, reward myself. Like,
Yeah,
somehow
no,
I think
100%.
that's,
I
like
I love
yeah,
a
you do that?
celebratory, like, pie, like, just, sweet.
Yeah.
That's my shit.
Well, it's easier in a bigger city too. LA, it's a lot easier to just go home, get in your car, after
Mhm.
a show. But in like Chicago or New York or a city that's walkable, if you're going past a corner store or a bodega of some sort, I'm always like, yeah, absolutely. This feels like the opportunity to eat candy.
I think the thing that fucks me up often is the late nights and the isolation. So, like, for example, just having the kid has made my eating habits better because I tend to go to bed earlier and more, with like a more stringent schedule. But like
Yeah.
when I'm on the road and I'm in fucking Cleveland or whatever shit town that, like, I find myself in, there's no rule about when I need to go to bed. There's nobody I'm obligated to, and therefore I go to the hotel, like, lobby, buy a bunch of shit, and then sit awake watching TV and eating snacks. And now,
Yeah.
Papa feels bad about himself in the morning.
It's true though, there is something really fucked up and weird about being, like, in a different I mean, even just, like, going somewhere like Palm Springs. I'm
Mhm.
just like which is, like, an hour and a half away.
Yeah.
Or Joshua Tree or whatever. I'm just like, "Yeah, gotta get my snacks and sit up and not go to sleep till 4 a.m." And it's like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah,
Like,
why do you think the world changed just because your location is slightly askew from where you were
well
before?
totally, and I think, like, sleeping next to someone, I'm so conscious of, like, the screens and, like, my husband can't fall asleep with the TV on. That's, like, a
Mm.
thing he hates, and I love it. I could listen to the TV all night. Um, and so we don't do that, but, like, if I'm on my own, I will go through a whole series on Netflix, just letting it ride while I sleep.
Yeah, we there are a few habits that, like, I know I could employ to break some of my relationships with sweets, and staying awake all night is one of them. Like, truly going to
Yeah.
bed, just stop eating at 8 p.m. and I feel so much better about myself than the alternative. And I refuse. I can't
Yeah.
get myself to stop.
No, 100%. I got, like, I ate so much last night, so much food. We got Korean for dinner, and I ate so much food that I was like, How is it that I just do this to my body?" Like, I was
Well,
like, "I don't understand." I was like, "This is so good." I don't it's not fair that it could be so good, but it feels so bad.
Well, what I will say is that Korean people, I think, do a mean thing to Americans in that they serve us everything that they have available at their restaurants. All those little appetizers that come
Ugh.
with the meal and all the stuff, all the fancy. They overserve, I think, Americans in a way that there's no way the average Korean is eating like this for their meals.
Okay, I always think about that because they're always dipping shit in cheese, and I just, like, I'm so confused how every if that's how Koreans eat all the time, how are they not fatter than Americans?
They don't eat
Because
like that. They just know our fat asses like it, so they're like, "Yeah,
I mean,
you
I
like
do,
that,
I
don't you?"
fucking love it. You're melting cheese on, like, on fucking beef. You're like I mean, I'll dip anything in cheese. So it's like, I don't they're eating like a cheese soup. It's insane. How do you walk away from that?
Yeah.
It's just dumping dairy, and you don't often get dairy in Asian food.
No,
So
apparently this is a weird thing that I just happen to know because of my podcast. 90% apparently of Asian people are lactose intolerant. That
I've
that
heard
it's like
that.
an insanely high number of the average like Asian person is lactose intolerant, which is why most of their foods don't incorporate dairy at all.
Yeah, and except for Koreans, I guess, because they're fucking well, that's also what's interesting too in Asia, there's a lot of milk candies that I don't think have any dairy in them. Like,
Mhm.
it's to get the milk flavor, like, when we went to Thailand, like, years ago, and milk flavored things were huge.
Yeah,
So
they love a bean paste, like, they love stuff that's, like, sweet, red beans, and it's like, "I don't know, dog, that's not how I do my candy, but cool, you
I
tried it."
know. I know. I mean, I love trying candy from different countries, but I'm pretty white about it. I can't decide if it's white or American. It makes me think white because I don't like Mexican candy because it's spicy.
I see, I think it's at least the way that I've always interpreted my relationship with other people's candy is I'm just very it's the one thing I truly am patriotic about. Like I don't give a fuck about this country for a lot of reasons and I think that, a lot of what we stand for is just propaganda and backwardsness. But as far as candy is concerned, it's like I'll eat a Snickers and be like, "I'm proud to be an American."
It's so true though. Like the lack of regulation is just honestly, if you don't take advantage of it, then it's a tragedy. Like they can't have so many of these foods in other countries because they're literal poison. Like
Yeah,
their government is literally like, "This is a drug. This is poison. We can't allow our
we
country to
can't
eat
serve this to
this."
our people. We care about our
No.
people.
No, and America's like, "Okay, but what if it tasted really fucking good?"
Well, that's
And
the
then
crazy part, right? Is like I went to fucking Scotland 2 years ago, right? To
yeah,
For the Edinburgh Fest and was there for essentially a month. And I went to Ireland and then Scotland and was away for like a month and a half. And I lost so much weight being there and it's not like I changed my eating habits. I was just
yeah,
walking a lot more and I was eating foods that aren't sort of like doused in like these odd like chemicals that sort of
yeah.
like make the thing more sustainable or taste better or whatever the fuck it is. And it's that weird thing of like we truly are just like allowing our country, our government to poison us more effectively for to stretch our food to enjoy the taste to add a little extra oomph to whatever bullshit we put in our mouths.
Well, it's like capitalism is king in America, obviously.
Mhm.
So anything that makes money and cuts corners, it's brilliant, honestly.
Yep.
Like, and so much of this stuff was manufactured in the early 1900s, like 19 in between 1930 and 1950. 50s, 60s, there was, like, a lot of snack innovation that happened where
Right.
some of it because things were becoming automated with machines, and so, like, a lot of cereals were, like, accidentally, like, puffed out. They were like, what if we just, like, puff rice?" Like, they were like, "Yo, what do you think would happen if we just, like, put these, like, little fucking wheat sacks in a puffer
Oh,
and then
so
cover it
that
in
makes
sugar?"
sense because before that, they were referring to oatmeal as like hot cereal. And
Right.
so it wasn't you would just pour milk over like whatever grain you had, and that would essentially be cereal. And then at some point, based on what you're saying, they were like, man, puff that shit up, dog.
Yeah.
Let's go crazy.
They were like, "You know, the shelf life on this would be incredible." And it's
Right.
really like, there's nothing to it. We charge a bunch of money. They eat it. We add fun colors. Fruit Loops are fucking great.
Hmm.
They're Lucky Charms, putting marshmallows in cereal. I mean,
Genius.
bananas. Imagine eating a s'mores for breakfast, like just a plain s'mores.
You don't have to imagine. It's available. It's on the market. You can have it, I'm sure.
I mean, like, it's American snacks and packaged goods are, glorious,
I
and
mean, that
something.
was what was so crazy about fucking Cookie Crisp, was like,
Yes.
you literally just shrunk some Oreo no, not Oreos, some Chips Ahoy, and put those bad boys in cereal, and then would somehow pitch it to children and their parents as a part of a balanced diet, and there's no way it could be part of a balanced diet. Even if you
Yeah,
only had a little bit of it every day, you are making your diet imbalanced from the start, from the
yeah,
beginning of your morning.
100%. I mean, now as an adult, if I eat a lot of sugar in the morning, it takes me out. I gotta take a nap. I
Mm.
can't, like, it was, like, in my 20s that I, like, had a huge cinnamon bun from Ann Souther's in Chicago. That
Oh.
you remember the cinnamon buns?
N no,
Did
I'm
you
a
ever go there?
Cinnabon man, though. I like
Oh,
Cinnabon.
you're a Cinnabon man. I mean,
Yeah.
cinnamon buns are just like it's like puts you to sleep. It's at this point, like it's just so heavy. So I can't do sugar in the morning like that. I mean, I will. To be clear, I will. I can't, but I will. Do
Sure.
you
I'm brave
did you
enough to
eat
keep fighting that fight.
Yeah. I mean, look, we all have to have a hill to die on.
Mhm.
So, did you have like sugary cereal when you were a kid?
Honestly, what's weird as much as I love sweets, my favorite cereals are the ones that aren't sugary. I
Yeah.
I love plain Cheerios. I love like corn checks.
Yeah.
I'll fuck up some rice checks, some corn checks. I don't discriminate. I fuck with the sweetest cereal I really like is Kix. And that ain't really that sweet. It's like still just puffed up rice.
Yeah. Josh Gondelman's episode was his favorite food or his favorite snack was Kix.
Oh, hell yeah.
That was his, and I had Kix a lot growing up too because it was considered the healthy cereal.
Yeah,
And
kicks
my
were great. They were too
Kix were
expensive for
great.
my home, but they were
Were
fucking
they?
great. Yeah. The
I think
kicks
they
was,
had the off-brand.
yeah, we were a bagged cereal family,
Did you have
for the most
siblings?
part, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the oldest of 5.
Fuck.
But yeah, there's a lot of us, but in a very disjointed way. We weren't all always in the same home because of mixing and matching of
Yeah.
parents.
Yeah. So did you, like, fight your siblings for the good snacks? Or
I
were
think
you guys, like, independent?
I think what ends up happening naturally, and I'm much older than all of my siblings, so it wasn't as much of like a brutal fight. But I do think what ends up happening is when you're in a house with as many people, oftentimes as I was in a house with, you build habits where you rush to get to whatever's there, and you
Yeah.
go back for seconds quickly at the possibility that when you go back, there'll be nothing left. So I
Yeah.
think there wasn't as much of like fighting, but it did build like shitty habits of being like, okay, I'm full, but I should go back and get more just in case, you
Yeah.
know, the other ones are gonna take the last of what I like. And then now
Totally.
all of a sudden you've had 2 dinners because you were trying to keep your siblings, I guess, from having one. I don't know.
No, I mean, there's something that's devastating getting to an empty dish of some like, the end of something is devastating, and my
Yes.
husband will leave a corner of something. So it's like he eats a bag of chips and he leaves, like, crumbs, and then
Mhm.
we'll put it back and be like, "I'm not done yet." And I'm like, "You're absolutely done, and I'm eating
Yeah.
this. You're absolutely done, and this is mine now."
Yeah, what is
Um
this sick game you're playing here?
it's so weird. He'll leave a corner of a sandwich. He'll leave a corner of, like if he eats, like, chicken fingers, he leaves, like, the crunchy end. It's
Oh,
like
no, this is twisted.
it's so fucked. Um, and I forgot what his reasoning was, but he has, like, some, like, logic that he, like, throws out there, but, like, that sort of to me, getting to the end of something is so devastating that I do the same thing, and in my family, we would hoover everything. So, like, we would just, like, eat it so fast. So I just, like, am
Mhm.
a hugely fast eater. I had to learn not to pull off of people's plates because my dad did that constantly without
Oh, he would just,
asking.
like, finish and then grab food
Yeah.
off of yours?
Yeah,
Damn.
and when we were at restaurants, he would straight up be like, "What's that taste like?" And so I used to do that, and people were like, "You're disgusting." And I'm like, "Okay, well, if you're not sharing, then why are we at a table?"
Oh, see,
Like
I'm such a fucking, like, caveman and, like, that I cover my food and I eat it quickly, but I if somebody reaches for my shit, I'll bite the fuck out of your hand. I hate shared plates. I don't like tapas. I don't wanna fucking have to eat less of a thing so that we can all enjoy it. Suck my dick and order it like an adult or don't get it at all, you know?
Okay, but then you can't get variety, and that's like you gotta get a bite of everything.
I don't feel that way. I've always believed in the choices that I've made, and if I wanted fucking spaghetti, I get the spaghetti. I don't need to know what the squid pasta tasted like. I'm
Oh,
good. You know what I
wow.
mean?
Wow. Yeah, I fully disagree. I mean, I still now I ask when I eat off of people's plates, "Are you a sharer?" I, like, straight up will just be like, "Are you a sharer? Do you wanna share? You can have anything you want off of my plate." And now, like, my husband knows if I'm like, "You can finish whatever I have," and he's like, "Do you want a fry?" Like, "You can have a fry. Do you want a fry?" Or he'll be like, "Give me a chance to get into it before you
Right.
fucking" um, but whatever. I mean, I feel like food waste is a problem and I'm solving it, and that's unfortunately, you're not.
I no, I whew, I'm solving it. I just ain't I'm not solving it for all of the varieties. I'm just focused on the one specific item and I'll finish every drop of it.
See, that's also why it's interesting when people are like, my habit as a kid was like going to a corner store and getting like the one thing,
Mhm.
getting like the pack of, you said like Shock Tarts and cookies and cream bar.
Yeah.
That to me, I'm like, no, you got to get like the full ass bag.
No, because once you find the shit that you like, why change it? Why ever try anything else, you know?
So they don't have Shock Tarts anymore, but Shock Tarts have, like, had a weird evolution. I
Mhm.
mean, it's so funny the idea first of all, nobody gives a shit about most of this, and there are, like, massive corporations and, like, idiotic people at the top who get paid millions of dollars to be like, "You know what? We need to not call it Shock Tarts anymore.
Yeah, I
Like, this
that
needs a recipe change."
that's the thing, right? And I'm sure you did the research on all of this, but they're like sour sprees now, or like,
Yeah.
or some they're the same thing, but with like a more generic branding. And I guess Shock Tarts was offensive somehow. I don't know exactly what happened that made them
Well,
do that.
They went by two. Well, here we go. Let's get into two truths and a lie, and we can get some facts in here and learn some history about
Great.
this. So, here are the three statements. You're going to decide what the lie is.
Okay.
Okay. First, we've got Shock Tarts are listed on a website called oldtimecandy.com. Two, Shock Tarts are also known as Shockers. They were changed when the stronger version was made.
Mm.
Three, a mom in Minnesota sued the candy company for giving her son mouth sores from Shock Tarts.
I'm gonna say the first one is a lie and the latter two are true.
Okay, you're wrong. It's literally on an old time candy website. It's
Oh man.
mortifying.
The mouse sores can't be true then.
No, it's not.
Yeah, because the
It just
shockers,
feels like,
I remember them being shockers. As soon as you
yeah.
said that, I was like, yeah, I do remember that.
Well, it's weird because I remember them as Shock Tarts, but everywhere, if you Google Shock Tarts, Shockers comes up.
Hmm.
And literally, it's like one of those things where I'm like, no, there's no way that's what it was called. It's like you don't realize that the brand name of something. I can't think of one of the good ones right now, but there's certain brand names that fuck, I can't remember. It's like
Well,
on the tip
it's
of my
that
tongue.
Mandela effect thing, and it's like the fuck the they did that episode of John whoever fuck what is that funny
Yeah,
man's
John
name?
whoever.
You know John whoever. Uh
Yeah, John whoever. No, I can't, yeah, I can't think of it right now, but there's, like, certain names that just never
Stofers,
process.
stovetop is an example. It's
Yes.
not Stofers. It never was
Yeah,
Stofers, but we all called it Stofers stovetop, and it's, I think, Kellogg's stovetop stuffing or
yeah,
some shit.
and if you look at another good one is oatmeal cream pies.
Mm.
So, oatmeal, sandwich cookies, oatmeal cream pies, like, if you look up first of all, cream is spelled Creme.
Mhm.
Which I just, like, would never I don't know, I would never like, what did I call it? Oatmeal cream. I'm just gonna Google it while I am on here. Oh, yeah, I always call it oatmeal cream pies.
Same.
Somebody would call it oatmeal cookies, like oatmeal cream cookies.
Oh, no, I was an oatmeal cream pie is what I thought they were called, and I'm devastated to find out that that's maybe not the case.
No, it says it on the package, but, like, there's a million people that I talked to that were like, "No, that's not what it is." But I also just didn't realize that cream was spelled that way, and so,
Creme.
I mean, yeah, because it's not real cream. They tried to make it fancy, but,
Yeah, I think they were just
um
trying to turn a, 25-cent, package
yeah.
of poison into something that people felt respectable eating.
Well, yeah. I mean, they were like, "Look, it's healthy. It's oatmeal. So what are we doing?" Um, but yeah, so I mean, I would see a mom's there was like lots of mom lawsuits in the late 90s, early 2000s, which is partially why a lot of these foods got discontinued.
Mhm.
Um, like that was a main reason Dunkaroos disappeared initially because they were too sugary.
Damn.
And people like rallied and now they're back and it's a different recipe. They don't taste as good. Um,
Right.
But that was, like, the original reason why they disappeared. There were moms that sued fruit snacks companies for trying to, like, market fruit snacks as being healthy when they were candy. Like, all these, like, moms were, like, mad, basically, and they were like, "Stop fucking making our kids eat candy."
And in retrospect, those moms, they were correct, right? Like, they were
Yeah.
probably making a good choice for their families when they make that choice. That said, if that were my mom, I would shoot her in the foot. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
how awful of a mom are you to make your kid have to deal with this kind of parenting? on a daily
Imagine.
basis.
Imagine if your mom was the mom responsible for getting rid of Dunkaroos.
Oh my
Imagine just
god.
carrying that baggage.
And there's no way that doesn't end up in like a local paper, right? Like that's not
Right.
this is going to be public information, and at the point that it's public information, you go to school as the kid who is the I guess the patriarch of the death of your favorite candy or snack.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, that's that mom's life. That's that I don't know what time you have on your hands if you're
Right.
the kind of person that can create that lawsuit and back that charge. But, like, that's in therapy. There's a kid in therapy, or there was a kid in therapy that was like, "Yeah, my mom, like, got rid of Dunkaroos, and it fucked me up for life." And
Mhm. Yeah. No,
everyone
I
wants to know where they went.
my mom got rid of Dunkaroos, and now I don't know how to love. I don't know if I can ever truly connect with another human being.
It would fuck me up for sure. I mean, but you sound look, you're not gonna fuck your daughter up. I mean, you will, but you won't. You know what
Oh,
I
I
mean?
will. It
I
just
mean,
won't
you
be
will.
Dunkaroo style, but
Yeah,
yeah,
it
no,
won't
I'm
be
gonna fuck her up
Dunkaroo
good.
style. If you're like, "Here, do this," your whole mentality sounds good to me. I mean, who knows? I'm gonna, like, honestly give my children food problems. When I have kids, they're gonna have problems, and
That's
I don't know
fair.
what to tell them.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just gonna be fucked up in a bunch of ways that I'm already prepared for, and look, go to therapy. I'm planning on being rich enough to pay for it. Um, okay, so let's do the next round of 2 truths and a lie. So we've
Okay.
got in 2000, and this is all Shock Tarts related. In 2002, they replaced did my research, big on facts. In 2002, they replaced the lime green with apple flavor.
Mm,
That's one. Um, in 2004, they replaced the cherry with watermelon.
mm.
And in 2007, they replaced the yellow with pineapple.
Okay. The yellow feels like the lie because it's just yellow before this. Like you didn't specify what the first flavor was, so it makes me feel like maybe this is there's a little more nebulous thing happening here. So I'm gonna say that one.
Okay, that's the lie. You're right. This was
Fuck yeah.
easy. I made it too easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they replaced I like lime, so, like, I'm a little bummed. I don't care for apple flavored candy.
I
I'm not
hmm.
like
I don't know that I have discerning enough taste buds to be disappointed by anything Shock Tarts did in terms of like changing their flavors. I've always been a big fan of what they've done. And when
sure.
it's similar to when Domino's like made that big announcement that they were like changing their recipe and they were sorry for making us all eat shit for years. And all my friends celebrated. Thank God Domino's is finally going to make something respectable. And I was the only one standing there like, fellas, Domino's was perfect the way it was. They
Yeah.
don't have to change anything. I've never been mad at Domino's.
I mean, Domino's isn't pizza. Like, Domino's falls and we've also addressed this before. There are categories of food or snacks that are labeled one thing, but they're
Yep,
actually something completely different. So Domino's is
exactly.
not pizza, but Domino's is fucking
It's the
delicious.
best. In the same way that Taco Bell is not Mexican food, it is Taco Bell.
Right. Exactly. You're getting something completely different. You
Mhm.
know what you're walking into. So anybody that's like ready to argue about authenticity or any sort of like whatever is not on the same plane. That's like not what it is. It's the same thing. It's just like you're not like are the donuts in are like the donuts or whatever, like the powdered donut things are those donuts? I don't know. Are the mini muffins muffins? I don't fucking know. Like they're dough balls. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Um you're not out here trying to fucking Like all the light ice creams they have. That's not ice cream, but it's
No,
fucking there's some of them are good.
that's like that's frozen aspartame, and you should enjoy if you like frozen aspartame, we got it, you know?
Yeah, and personally, I do from time to time enjoy frozen aspartame, and it fucks me up. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's chemicals. It's not,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So, um, okay, well, I wanna get into we've got 3 rounds of fuck, marry, kill, Polly. So, you're
Okay.
familiar with fuck, marry, kill, correct?
I am.
Okay, great. So fuck, marry, kill, Polly, exactly the same, except you choose you have an additional choice to be your poly partner, which means that you're married in addition to your married partner. So you're married as your primary, but you do take this partner more seriously. So
Yep.
like
I take my married partner more seriously, but my poly partner is more fun.
your poly partner, no, you take your poly partner seriously. So you're married as your primary. Your poly partner is more serious than when you're just fucking. Like just
I got
fucking
you.
is like one night stand fuck buddy. But like your poly partner is someone that you could like have an actual relationship with, just not the main relationship.
I got you. I don't want to file them under my taxes, but they're
Yeah.
a good partner all the same.
Yeah. And you can also share them with your married partner. I mean, I don't know. It seems like there's no rules. So,
Hell
you set
yeah.
your own rules and you can do whatever you want. Um, okay, so here are your categories. We have that one best friend, cheese products, and sour. So
Mm,
here's yeah, so here's that one best friend. We've got Gushers, and some of these are throwbacks. So we've got Gushers, Trix yogurt. Do you remember that?
I do remember Trix Yogurt. Hell yeah.
Trix yogurt. We've got 3D Doritos.
Mm.
And then we have dinosaur egg oatmeal.
Oh fuck. Okay. Uh fuck Mary kill Polly. Well, I would kill dinosaur eggs yogurt or oatmeal. Fuck
Yeah.
that. That's no thank you. I believe I had it a few times. It didn't do anything for me. Uh I would fuck
Oh,
the
wait, did I give
3.
you the last one? I don't think I gave you 4.
You did give me 4. It was
Oh,
3D
okay, good.
Doritos,
Yeah, yeah,
Gushers,
yeah, yeah,
Trix yogurt.
yeah. Okay. My bad.
Yeah, no, you're good. So I would fuck the mm, I would fuck the Trix yogurt.
Okay.
That's I smashed it a few times as a child, and I was like, this ain't that much different than regular yogurt, but I see what y'all were going for, and I fuck with that. So I'd fuck Trix yogurt. I would marry the Gushers.
Mm.
Specifically, Gushers had a sour Gushers option
Mhm.
that were my absolute favorite thing as far as like those fake fruit snacks were concerned. And then I guess I'd be poly with 3D Doritos, although I don't remember. I guess they were like bugles, kind of. I don't remember enough about 3D
Yeah.
Doritos.
Do they make bugles anymore?
I don't think so. I don't think you can just like walk into a gas station and be like, "Show me to your bugles, good man." You know,
Yeah.
that's how I talk to gas station attendants.
Do you? That's good to know for for when people see you on the road. Um Interesting. Okay. I mean, the dinosaur, I love a surprise. Look, I love a reveal. I love a makeover. So it's like, am I a huge oatmeal fan? No, but the idea that you get this reveal is just like
Mm.
I have to engage with it. You know what I
So it
mean?
was more the overall experience than it is the taste of said experience.
Yeah, it's like the pomp and circumstance. Like that is I want the lights, camera, action. That
Mm.
would be my fuck. I would fuck dinosaur oatmeal.
Wow.
Um, yeah. I mean, you know what? Because look, here's the thing. I'm not sticking around. It doesn't taste that great. It's not
No.
like incredible, but it's fun. It's
Yeah.
fun. And I don't know how much fun I would have with the rest.
When's
Um,
when's the last time, this is a genuine question, when is the
yeah.
last time that you had, some of those packaged oatmeals?
Oh, fuck. I actually used to eat them in college all the time. I was like,
Mhm.
I ate them. I would have the plain one and I would put like raisins and cinnamon in it. So I would say like, I want to say maybe like 15 years ago.
Okay, that makes sense because I my wife had never had oatmeal. She hasn't eaten a lot of things. She was a super particular child and, like, refused to eat
She's a picky
any. She never had a hamburger until she was 21 years old, like,
eater.
a very picky eater. That said, she is less that now, and so
Yeah.
we were at the grocery store, and she was like, "What is," I can't remember if she was like, she probably said, "Ew, that looks gross," and I was like, and she was referring to the peaches and cream oatmeal, like instant
Oh my
oatmeal.
god,
I was
yeah.
like, "That shit bangs. You don't even realize this shit fucking, it's fire." This was
Yeah.
like the crux of everything I stood for as a child. And she was like, "I would never eat that." I'm like, "Bitch, we buying it. We're gonna eat some cookies and or some peaches
Yes.
and cream oatmeal." And then I made some, and made some is a weighted word. I heated up
Yeah.
some and we had it, and it is so sugary, it is almost unbearable to enjoy.
Shit. Shit.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
devastating for me.
That's the thing is, like, there's so much of this nostalgic these nostalgic foods that you go to eat as an adult, and you're like, "Does it still hit the same?"
Mhm.
And it doesn't. I had a Carvel ice cream cake recently, and I was like and I was because that's what I had growing up every year for my birthday. I would get like a Carvel ice cream cake, and it was like
Mhm.
always the best thing in the world. And I, over the summer, I was like, I'm an adult. I'll buy myself a Carvel ice cream cake. Like, why not?
Yeah.
And I did. And it was disgusting. And I
Yeah.
was so bummed. I was like, this doesn't taste like anything. I'm ruined. And it's the same thing with several other foods. Like I ate, fruit by the foot recently because they had pink Starburst flavored fruit by the foot, which interesting.
I'm
You know
listening.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was, like, not bad, but it was, like, also, like, why don't I just eat Starburst? Like, why am I doing this to
Right.
myself? It's so thin, it, like, disappears so quickly. Like, one fruit by the foot, it's like, no, you eat the whole package. You're an
Ye
adult now.
yeah, why am I making this more complicated than it needs to be? Just fuck with the Starburst.
Yeah, exactly. So it's disappointing. Um, I would kill the 3D Doritos because that would cut up the roof of my mouth, and I can't do it.
That's fair.
And I would I would marry the Gushers. Never been
Good
sick of a
choice.
Gusher. And I would poly with the tricks because I feel like you, like, kinda think it's healthy sometimes, and I might even go fucking crazy and put the Gushers in the tricks.
Whoa. That's a pro choice. I will say that that is one of my thing, or was one of the things that I did often with the Shock Tarts, was, put them in a liquid they didn't belong in, and just
Really?
hell yeah, you put some Shock Tarts in a Sprite, and let
Mm.
that extra fizz kick in, and now you got
Yeah.
Shock Tarts flavored Sprite. God damn, that
Yeah,
shit was good.
absolutely. It's so fucking good. I guess, like, that's how kids are making jungle juice in college now. They're
Mhm.
taking, like, a bunch of candy and then they're dumping which, like, I don't know, maybe they always were, but I feel like it was never that innovative.
Yeah, candy
Um
wasn't the priority. We were, mixing alcohol, first and foremost, and then
Right. Right, and I was
yeah.
like, "Oh god, that's a great idea." Like, it's, that's brilliant. Okay, so the next round is cheese products. Do you like cheese? I mean, I should have asked this before, but who knows?
I got
Maybe
a
it'll be
pack of
natural.
string cheese in the crib in the refrigerator
Yes.
that I keep on deck just in case your boy gets snacky.
Good. Okay. So, cheese products, we've got Easy Cheese and Ritz crackers,
Mm.
Baby Bell cheese, Handy Snacks, and cheese balls.
Oh, okay.
The cheese
Uh,
balls, just to clarify, are like the Planters cheese balls that come in like the oatmeal container.
like cheese puffs, but
Yeah.
in the ball form?
Yes.
Okay. And what are handy snacks?
Handy snacks are the little packages with crackers and the red stick and the
Oh, okay, where
cheese that
you
you spread on the it's the whole
the
thing.
the little poor kids charcuterie thing that they
Yeah.
give you.
Well, actually, it's delicious, but yes, the poor kid's charcuterie.
All right. Okay. I'm I think I'm ready.
Okay.
And this is gonna be controversial, I'd kill those cheese balls. Fuck them. I'm not a big fan of puffs in any form. I
Okay.
don't really rock with them shits, and even when they're available to me, I'm good. I don't really do that. Uh, and then I think I'd marry the Ritz and you're talking about them little sandwiches, right? Where the Ritz gets
No, but those are very fucking good. I'm talking about the easy cheese that you squirt on. So
Oh,
you
no,
would
no,
have
no.
a
I'm
Ritz cracker and then you would
Oh,
squirt on that cheese. I will say Ritz Bits sandwiches, which is what you're talking about, are
yeah.
one of my fucking favorite things.
They're spectacular. That said, in
Yeah.
response to that clarification, I would be poly with that. With
Okay.
the that seems like, "Oh, we're being adventurous, we're trying some shit, we're getting funky," but that's not something I wanna be with, every day.
Right.
And maybe no, maybe it's not worth being poly, maybe that's who I fuck, but
Okay.
that's not who I'm being poly with, that's less of a commitment, and then, I think I would marry the Baby Bell and be
That's a good choice.
poly with the handy snack.
That's a good choice. I love that. I actually think I agree with you completely on this because
Nice.
yes, because I'm not a fan of a puff. I love a Cheeto,
Mhm.
but I don't love a puff. So if it's a
No.
cheese puff, I don't care very much. I want like the texture and like weight that comes with like whatever the fuck a Cheeto is.
Yeah,
And
it kind of melts in a weird way, like, the puffing of it makes it so it sort of, like, crushes and evaporates in a way that doesn't feel right, and I
right.
it's a no for me, dog.
Yeah. No, 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 same. So I'm not that interested in that. Baby Bell cheese, classic. That's one of the snacks I was allowed to have growing up that like I don't know why that cheese is mushy, but it's great. And then you play with the wax and it's like, what are we doing? This is
Yeah, you
great.
can make a sweet ball with that wax and throw it at somebody. It's pretty tight.
It's sick. So you have that. And then handy snacks is just fun. I love interactive food. It tastes like ass. Um, But it's like it tastes like straight palm oil, but it's like it's so fun, and easy cheese, this is all pretty interactive, and cheese balls is the only thing that's not really interactive.
Mhm.
So, it doesn't match up.
Yeah,
Um, so I agree with you 100%, which is great, we're aligned. And
nice.
then the last category is sour. So
Fuck
you
yeah.
mentioned you love sour, so it's gonna be some hard decisions for you potentially. Okay, so here are your choices for fuck, marry, kill, Polly, sour. We've got Sour Patch Kids, classic.
Mhm.
Warheads, another
Whoa.
classic. Sour Straws,
God damn.
and Sour Worms. So this could be a texture
Yo.
thing for you.
Okay. And again, these are hard choices. This is not something I want to be careful that to and be clear that I do not make these decisions easy. But I'm killing those sour worms, dog. They gotta die.
Yeah.
They're
Okay.
not as sour as they should be, and if I need a worm, I don't know, I can go somewhere else for that shit that ain't sour. Uh,
Okay.
yeah. So kill sour worms. Uh, I, oh boy. Uh, shit. I think so. So then I have warheads, I have sour straws, and I
Yeah.
have Sour Patch Kids.
Correct.
I'm going to marry the sour straws. Those are a love just short of shock tarts that I would
Mhm.
be devastated to lose. I want to be with them forever, marrying the sour
Okay.
straws. I am going to fuck the warheads. Really like them, but could have and will continue to go without them.
Yeah.
But if you get to smash one time, warheads are great. The other issue with warheads is that the sour doesn't stay the whole time. So you
Yeah.
once you've sucked on it a little bit, the sour goes away, and now you're just stuck with a shitty candy underneath it.
Right.
And so I'm fucking the warheads, and then I will be poly with Sour Patch Kids.
Okay. I mean, so texturally, you like it you like a thick gummy.
Yeah. Give me something sturdy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I actually also completely agree with all these choices because
Nice.
I like the texture of sour straws. What I like the most are sour strips, the Haribo
Oh.
sour strips. If they had better flavors, it would be dope, but it's like the perfect texture to just like suck on it and then it's like a good gummy and
Mhm.
I just am like a fan of it. But sour straws are great.
Yeah.
Um and Sour Patch Kids blend in together. That's a I feel it on the roof of my mouth right now. And
Oh.
like that will fuck up the roof of my mouth and then make it hard for me to enjoy anything, so I can only halfway engage.
Oh, no, it's like BDSM for me, you know what I mean? Like, I hurt me, daddy, you know what I'm saying?
That's the
Like,
I mean, that's the whole sour game, though. You have to, like, be into the pain a little bit
uh-huh.
because it's inevitable. I agree, though, a warhead would be a good fuck
Yeah.
because it's intense and it's, like it's flashy, it's romantic. Did you guys do, like, warhead, like, contests in school, like, just amongst the kids, like, who could hold a warhead in their mouth the longest?
I'm sure we did, and I'm sure that's why my taste buds don't work the way they're supposed to now
Yeah,
is we had to have been, like, doing inappropriate things with things that truly numb your body in a way you'll never recover from.
100%. The blue one was supposed to be actually, nobody would fuck with the yellow one. Everybody would fuck with the blue one, and if you could hold the yellow one in your mouth the longest, it was like you were a king.
Yeah,
Um
blue is a, probably like blue raspberry, and
Mhm.
that's a gentle flavor, whereas, a lemon and it's meant to be more sour? Oh, boy.
Yeah. Do you like lemon drops? I'd say it's a little old-timey, but it's sour.
They're not sour enough, you know? It's the same sort of, like, vibe as, like, lemon heads, which I like lemon heads, but
Mhm.
lemon heads are hit or miss of how sour they're actually gonna be.
Yeah. I do need
Whereas,
variety.
surprisingly, chewy lemon heads are much more consistent. If you get the
Mm,
box of chewy lemon heads, those ones are a little more predictable of their sourness.
interesting. Okay, I agree with you on that. I think gummy worms, what I don't understand about sour worms is why they're milky. Like, why they
Mm.
have a milky color, like, why can't they it bothers me, and they don't taste good, and I don't understand why they can't do the clear gummy worm just covered in sugar. Instead, they have to do a milky,
Oh, you're bothered by them being like, is it opaque? They're like,
like,
they're
pastel.
yeah, they're a little more like, like not see-through, in a
Yeah.
way that the others are.
It's off-putting for me personally, and they don't match up on flavor, so altogether, honestly, a fail, but I completely agree with you, and also they have Sour Patch Kids popsicles. I don't know if you're aware of that.
I did not know
Um,
that, and god damn it, do I wish that I had found that out 12 years ago. I would have
I know.
eaten the shit out of them.
You could try it now if you're feeling rowdy, but
Oh boy.
it might fuck you up.
Yeah.
Um, well, you have been a great guest. This has been fucking fun. Shock
Yeah.
Tart, A plus. Are you gonna go get Shock Tarts now? Has it really like triggered that for you?
I might go
I
on
mean,
Amazon and see, well, first of all, support my daddy, Jeff Bezos. Love everything he's doing. Gotta keep him being a trillionaire.
same,
But
same.
yeah, I might go fuck around and see if I can find like one of those unsanctioned crates of Shock Tarts that are still circulating out in the world.
Do that and do me a favor and do yourself a favor by looking at the reviews for this candy on Amazon because it's chef's kiss, so funny.
Sure.
You gotta look at the one-star reviews specifically. People are furious
I
at this
love that.
candy from 20 years ago. So, check that out. Also, where can everybody find you? Plug all your shit. I'll post it in the info as well.
Oh, great. You can find me at Langston Kerman on all social media platforms. Nobody else wanted that name, so daddy got it. And you can I guess watch Southside on HBO Max.
Yeah.
That show is out, and I helped write on it, and I play a small part in it. And you can watch Pause with Sam J. I had write that show, and watch The Boys. I play a character in that. And there's, other shit, but those are the things that come to mind right this second. So do those things.
Amazing. Yeah, busy. Busy, busy. Amazing. Well, thank you again for being on the pod. Thank you everybody for listening. Get in the Discord. It's new. I don't know how it works, but do shit in it. Um and does your podcast have a Discord?
No, that sounds
Damn.
like something that would make me terrified if people start talking back to the bad decisions I'm making on my podcast.
Well, you're just not desperate enough for attention. Um, Thank you for listening. Thanks for being on the pod. I will see you guys next time.
Bye.